Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and happy Monday. Man, I already wish it was Friday, huh? Hopefully all had a fantastic weekend and you are ready to hit up a brand new work week here. Whether you are listening on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM online, you can stream it up at sportstalk1051.com. Got your smart devices, the app, and the video stream also up and rolling. However you're tuning in, we appreciate it. What do we have on our game plan for this morning? Lots to get to, but Brew Crew, what a start for the Brewers and what a series finale yesterday against the White Sox. First, go back to Saturday. They picked up a 6-1 win and secured the series victory over the White Sox. Chad Patrick, no decision, but he went 4 1/3, giving up just one earned run, a solo shot. Aaron Ashby, who's off to a really good start this season so far, he got the win, not giving up a hit in 1 2/3, 4 Ks, a couple of walks though. But yesterday's game, holy moly, what a finish! I know I wasn't the only one, but when that lineup came out, Yelich day off, Contreras DH, Jefferson Kiro getting a start at catcher because he was called up with the injury to Andrew Vaughn. He's going to be out for a few weeks, the fractured hamate. Remember, that was the hand injury that everybody seemed to be having as soon as spring training opened up. But he's going to be missing some time. So Kiro was called up. Gary Sanchez was over there playing first base. Bowers initially had the day off. I mean, it felt like one of those games that we see quite a bit in the season where a team maybe has secured the series win, and they go into that finale, resting some guys and seeing how it all kind of plays out. Brandon Sproats gets the start and giving up a grand slam in the first inning. The White Sox putting up 7 runs in the first 3 innings. But the Brewers clawed back and putting up 6 in the bottom of the 8th. Highlighted, capped by Christian Yelich. Pinch hit home run. Dude jacked it to right field. A 3-run shot to take a 9-7 lead, and the Brewers would hold on for victory. Oh, man, I thought it was over with. I'll be honest. I was like, okay, it's just one of those days. Yep, Brewers cut the lead in half after 1. It was 4-2. White Sox put on a couple more after that. Brewers just added 1 in the 6th. But that 8th inning, holy moly, capitalized by Christian Yelich's, I was going to say walk-off. Not technically a walk-off, but a go-ahead 3-run shot. It was a monster shot, too. So what a start. Brewers undefeated to begin the season. And they'll be back at it tonight, taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. So can the Brewers get to 4-0? Hey, that path to 162-0 is still alive, people. Still alive. So, but we'll talk a lot of baseball. Overreaction Monday. Should we do that? A little overreaction Monday about the Brewers. Just 3 games in. We got 158 more of these to go here. So, but we got to have a little fun. We got to celebrate when we do get some wins and such. And the Brewers are off to a really, really, really good start to begin the year. So we've got that on the docket. Yesterday was just crazy in itself because if you missed that ending of UConn and Duke, and maybe you shut it off at half because Duke was up, and it looked like they were going to be in control, but UConn making the comeback and just a wild finish in the last 10 seconds. UConn hitting a game winner with 0.3 seconds left after stealing the ball. 10 seconds left. Duke, just hold on to it, man. You don't have to worry about crossing after. Just hold on to the ball and take the foul. Trying to pass it down to a couple open guys down the court. UConn deflecting it. Dude hits it from the logo. But I was going for UConn because that meant I got all of my Final Four teams correct. All Final Four. I had UConn taking on Illinois, and I have Michigan taking on Arizona. So I was a little pumped about that, not going to lie. So, but rest of you, how does your brackets look? All right, we'll talk some college hoops. Speaking of which, the Badger women's basketball team still alive in the the Women's Basketball Invitational semis going up against Columbia later on today. Speaking of college basketball, big news on Friday, UW-Eau Claire Blue Goals hiring Hannah Iverson, formerly now as the UW Stout women's basketball coach, but Hannah, an Eau Claire native, coming home, if you will. But taking over for Tanya Englund, who retired just a few weeks ago. So big-time hire, big time hire for the Blue Gold women's basketball program and the athletic department. So speaking of college, got college hockey, Badger men's hockey team advancing to the Frozen Four after defeating Michigan State. So they'll be back at it, taking on North Dakota on Thursday. I know Stouts men's hockey fell in their Frozen Four. UW River Falls women's hockey at national champs again. So definitely lots of good hockey going around in the state of Wisconsin, that's for sure. So hoops-wise, speaking of hoops, to no surprise, the Bucks have officially been eliminated from playoff contention. Just want to pass that along here too. So they're done. Well, I mean, they still got regular season games and such to go here, but nonetheless, they've got nothing. They're going nowhere now. It's kind of just maybe a race to get a better pick between them or better odds, I should say, in the lottery and such. But yeah, they've got just 8 more games left to go, and this season from blank will be, over with in that. So. But the 10 are set. The 10 are set in the Eastern Conference. But where they're at right now, so technically we don't have anybody that we got 2 teams in the East that have clinched spots. But even though there are just 10 alive and there's 10 playoff spots, it's between the top 6 and 7 through 10. That is still up in the air because when you look at Toronto, who is in the 5th spot right now, they're 42-32. Charlotte is in the 10th spot, and they're 39-36. So they're only 3.5 back, even though they're in the 10th spot, from jumping up to that 5th seed. So lots to still play out in the Eastern Conference standings. Western Conference, we know the top 10 too, and we know two of the 4 play-ins. That's Golden State and that's Portland. But the Clippers and the Suns could potentially still jump into that top 6, although there is a bigger gap between Houston and Phoenix with a 6-7. That's a 4-game gap in there. So, but that's where things stand right now in the NBA. So if you're a T-Wolves fan, Timberwolves right now, they're in the 5th seed. So they're tied with Houston, but they hold a slight tiebreaker over Houston right now. So, but what else do we have on the docket? Hey, we've got NFL owners meetings going on, and we're actually later on this morning, Matt LaFleur is going to be chatting with some of the media there. So this is the first time that we are going to hear from Matt LaFleur since, well, his extension, Jonathan Gannon, some other topics. So the media that are going to be there, Packers media and such, that are going to be there, plenty to ask Matt LaFleur. If you were one of those media members, all right, if you were down at Arizona, I believe right now, yeah, Phoenix, and you get a shot to ask Matt LaFleur a question at the coach's breakfast, what would that question be? And make it a legit one, okay? Make it a legit one. What would be the question that you would ask? He did talk a little bit to Mike Garafalo from NFL Network. We'll go through some of his comments and thoughts. Tucker Kraft, Jordan Love, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we got that. We'll throw a little football talk into our game plan for us this morning. What else do we got? We've got VFW Post 305, best and worst from the weekend. So make your picks. Hit me up with a text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912, or you can join in on the Section 105 chat on the YouTube channel. So we got that. We'll do a little Glory Days brought to you by Summer Jam in Eau Claire here too. So that's your game plan for this morning. We're going to be kind of dabbling into a little bit of everything here, right? So let's pitter patter. Let's get at her. Let's open up this morning, the leadoff, recapping this Brewers series win, a series sweep, getting an early head start on some spring cleaning with this sweeping by the Brewers. So we'll take a look back at this series win against the White Sox to take a look ahead to their series against the Tampa Bay Rays. All right, we'll take our first break, and then the leadoff coming up after these quick words. Accidents happen, but getting back on the road shouldn't be stressful. So at Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire, you will find experienced technicians, quality craftsmanship, and service that you can trust. From collision repair and dent removal to full paint work and insurance coordination, they handle the details so you do not have to. They will restore your vehicle the right way, safely, professionally, and with attention to every detail. When your vehicle needs extra care, choose the team that puts quality first. That's Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire, bringing your vehicle back to life, one repair at a time. The leadoff. Let's talk some baseball. The Brewers beginning the season with a sweep, and they are undefeated to begin the year, 3-0. Going back to Saturday's game, picking up a 6-1 victory over the Chicago White Sox. Brewers, we had Chad Patrick getting the start in that one. Solid 4 1/3. Probably like to see him get through 5 there, but 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Gave up that solo shot. Murakami, oh man, what a start for him. 3 home runs in 3 games here. What do they call him? The Japanese. Is it the Japanese Babe Ruth, I believe? But Ashby gets credited with the win, going 1 2/3, 4 Ks and a couple walks, and he also pitched on opening day. So not a bad start so far for Aaron Ashby to begin the season. So Brewers secured the series win with their victory on Saturday, and then you look at the lineup that was released yesterday, and we see this all the time. We're going to continue to see it. Kind of those Sundays where maybe, you've got a series wrapped up and you kind of give some guys, or I should say you've secured a series win, and maybe you give some guys the day off and such, and it kind of looked like that yesterday. You had Terang batting leadoff, getting the start. Contreras was at DH. Rengifo batting in the third spot. Sanchez playing first because Jefferson Quiro getting called up to replace Andrew Vaughn got the start at catcher, but Frelick batting in the fifth, Ortiz in the sixth, Quiro in seventh, Lockridge getting the start in left field, Perkins getting the start in center field, and you had Brandon Sproats making the start. It looked like, I don't want to say a throwaway game, but we've seen those lineups before. And sometimes we're surprised and maybe they get the W. Sometimes it may work out the way we kind of thought. And honestly, it kind of felt, I know I wasn't the only one thinking, all right, might be a tough one, especially the way it started off yesterday with Sproat giving up a grand slam in the first, and just wasn't his day. But this Brewers team, first of all, credit to the bullpen. Let's give some instant credit to the bullpen here for not allowing further damage. After giving up 7 runs in the first 3 innings by Brandon Sproat, the bullpen locked it down, giving up only 3 hits. So Sproat went 3 innings. After that, the White Sox only collected 3 hits and 1 walk. That was it. Anderson, Koenig, Woodford, Trevor McGill getting the save, locked it down afterwards. So it starts there for the offense to try to get back into it and for the offense to try to claw their way into it and, try to lower that lead, try to close the gap. It starts with the bullpen not allowing further damage, and that's exactly what they did yesterday. And then you had Anderson giving you a couple innings, too. You throw Woodford out there for a couple of innings. And then after that, even with Sproat only going 3 innings, they didn't have to completely unload their bullpen. So the fact that they had a couple guys and they're able to give them a couple innings too, big bonus. But a huge tip of the cap. Huge tip of the cap to that Brewers bullpen yesterday. Brewers adding a run on the 6th. Just cutting the lead a little bit there, right? 7-3 at that point. So then you head in the 8th. You're thinking time's running out. But things, the domino, the waterfall, right? The dominoes started to fall, and highlighted by Christian Yelich, pinch hit, which it's still kind of weird to say it's his first ever pinch hit home run. But he's also been starter for the majority of his career, so he probably hasn't had as many pinch hit opportunities and such. But nonetheless, still kind of like, interesting nugget. But he goes up there, 2 on, comes in for Sanchez, who hit a home run earlier in the game, but, you're doing the lefty matchup, lefty-righty such. And Yelich just tattooed one. And for a guy who doesn't show a ton of emotion, as soon as he hit it, drops the bat and gives it a little stare down and looks to his dugout and such. That was a shot. And, me and Hudson were watching it. We're just like, stay fair, stay fair, stay fair. And, but a huge, huge shot for the go-ahead 3-run shot. And Trevor McGill locking it down after that. Brewers beginning the season 3-0. I know it's the White Sox. Okay? I understand that. It's not like they just began the season 3-0 against the Dodgers or anything. So I understand that. But you win the games you're supposed to win. The Brewers are a better team than the White Sox. Too many times have we talked about Brewers or any of our other favorite teams playing down to the competition. Not in this series. The Brewers did their job, and they took this series. They swept this series against a team that, if the Brewers have the aspirations and the goals to get back to the postseason and they're supposed to be a better team than the White Sox, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. Win the series with a little cherry on the top. They swept it. So for all the naysayers and maybe the people that want to poo-poo this series win because it was the White Sox, go right ahead. But at least the Brewers did their job. They did what they were supposed to. That's the biggest thing I take away from this. And I know it's only 3 games into this series, or this season, excuse me. And it's kind of early to say, okay, first impressions, what's kind of maybe surprised you or what's really jumped out to you. I get it's only 3 games into it, but I will say this. I think there's a couple of players right now. Well, Aaron Ashby being a player from the pitching side of things, I think is off to a good start. But from a position player standpoint, I think a couple things that really jump out to me is Bryce Terang is kind of picking up where he left off at the World Baseball Classic. Because through 3 games, he has led a team in ABs. He's got 14 of them. He's hitting .429, slugging .643, and he's got an OPS of a 1.110. Again, I understand it is 3 games in, and it's only 14 at-bats. But it feels like he's already got 3 doubles. So it feels like he's at least right now so far, has picked up where he left off in the World Baseball Classic. And the other guy is Joey Ortiz. In 3 games, Joey Ortiz is hitting .455 with a .500 on-base percentage and an OPS of a .955. For a guy that, and he did have a strikeout. The one thing is, Joey Ortiz does have 4 strikeouts so far, which you want to see that number go a little bit lower. Bowers right now has 5 in 12 at-bats, but Joey Ortiz has 4 strikeouts and 11 at-bats, so you'd like to see that go down a little bit. But numbers-wise, offensively, OPS average, all right, he's off to a good start. And then Christian Yelich, 10 ABs for him. He's hitting 600 and on base of a 636. He's slugging 900 and a 1.536. 5 RBIs. This is what we want to see from Christian Yelich in that spot. Right? Batting cleanup, batting the third, pinch hitting, whatever the heck he's doing, he has got to be the run producer. And right now, he's off to a really good start, 2-3 games in. I know numbers are skewed and one game can make a difference in a lot of these numbers. I get that. I understand that. I'm not going to be sitting here blowing smoke and saying, we got 3 All-Stars or 4 All-Stars. No, I get it. I understand it. But we can also acknowledge that, all right, first series, 3 games in, decent starts, solid starts. My guy, Sal Frelick's already got 4 walks. How about David Hamilton, too? David Hamilton's off to with 2 games. David Hamilton's played 2 games. You want to talk about patience at the plate? 4 walks. 4 walks in 2 games for David Hamilton. He's only credited with 4 ABs. So that's why his average is like 250, but he's got 4 walks, for crying out loud. And he's already got 3 stolen bases. We knew about his speed. When he was acquired, that was like the first thing. Or second thing, because everybody talks about the height. But you knew about the speed, too. And, all right, well, he's already displayed that so far. Yeah, he's got 3 stolen bases. Garrett Mitchell's got 2. Joey Ortiz has 2. Lockridge, Yelich each have 1. Still waiting for, Terang and maybe Frelick to get in on that, too. So, but what else has kind of stood out to you in the first 3 games? We could have a little fun on a little overreaction Monday here, especially after a sweep. Little early goings of some spring cleaning here for the Brewer crew. What you got for me? All right. Hit me up. Shoot me a text, 715-830-1912, or you can join in on the video stream. We got to take a quick break, but then let's take a look at their series with the Rays starting tonight. All right. We'll take a look at that and start to preview game 1 of that series. We'll be right back after these quick words. When it comes to quality meats, you don't guess, you go right to the experts. And at Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire, you're not just buying meat, but you are buying experience. Hand-cut steaks, fresh ground beef, house-made brats and sausages, thick-cut chops done exactly the way you like them. This is your neighborhood butcher shop where quality comes first and service still matters. Planning a cookout or stocking up for the week? Or maybe looking for that perfect steak for dinner tonight? Hey, stop on into Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire and taste the difference that a real butcher makes. Mike's Star Market. Fresh, local, done right. Especially with baseball season and such. Getting the grills out. Today's going to be a fantastic day to get the grill out. And maybe fire it up and get some brats on there. Oh, yeah. I was just there Friday, actually, picking up some stuff from good old Mike's Star Market. So, taking a look at game 1 of this series with the Tampa Bay Rays. Kyle Harrison's going to get the start here for the Brewers, making his regular season debut. And on the other side, Nick Martinez for Tampa Bay. He's going to be getting the start. And, well, last couple of years he pitched for the Reds. So if you're looking at, experience and such, Brewers players, there's a few of them that got quite a bit of experience going up against Martinez. Contreras, 15 career at-bats, does have a home run against him, hitting 200 with a 6.67 OPS. You have Sal Frelick, 10 career at-bats, 900 OPS, hitting 400. Garrett Mitchell, 10 career at-bats, hitting 400 with 1.000 OPS. You've got Ortiz in 9 career at-bats, has struggled, just 111 average and a 311 OPS. But got also Gary Sanchez with 7 career at-bats, is hitting 429 and a 1.556 OPS. And then finally, Terang, 13 career at-bats, 231 and an 824 OPS, does have a home run and 3 RBIs. And Yelich, some solid numbers against him, 16 career at-bats, 313 average, 916 OPS. So Brewers definitely have quite a few of these Brewers, main stars on the Brewers, if you will, have quite a bit of experience going up against Martinez. So, and on the flip side, there actually is a couple of players on this Tampa Bay lineup that have a little bit of experience going up against Harrison as well. Fortes has 6 career at-bats, and he's got a 0 average, but he does have a 143 OPS, so it's a little bit there. Otherwise, I mean, that you got like 2-3 at-bats and such going up against him. So, but obviously there was yesterday with Brandon Sproat getting the start. There's some excitement. There's probably some nerves. I hope nobody yesterday is ready to, that trade to bring in Brandon Sproat from the Mets and such. What a waste. And I know there's Jet Williams with it too, but I really hope that people aren't poo-pooing on Brandon Sproat after just one start. All right, let's get a bigger sample size on here. I got to imagine some nerves, some excitement, and then once, you kind of pour gas on that fire, right, it just gets bigger and bigger and just uncontrollable and such, and it kind of felt that way for him yesterday. And I'm sure there's going to be some nerves and such with Harrison making his first start with the Brewers for the home crowd here too. But I'm excited to see Harrison. I think this is a kid that's got a boatload of talent, a lot of talent. I don't want to, set the bar really high for his first career start with the Crew, but I'm excited to see this kid in action this season and continuing to build and continuing to get better and probably consistency. I mean, that's the thing with Sproat and Harrison, with this year. Yep, they got a little bit of major league experience already under their belt, which is going to help them. But I think the biggest thing for these two, they've got the talent in the world, all the talent in the world. But I think the biggest thing that these two pitchers are going to have to figure out or battle throughout this season is the consistency. We know that they can be really good pitchers. We know the sky is a limit for these guys. But can they be consistently good? It might be a tough ask for them this year, but man, I'm really excited to see Kyle Harrison in action. I really, I think this is a kid that's got a ton of talent, and you put him with Chris Hook and this pitching coach staff. I think he's in line to be a really, really good player for a long time. So don't want to put a whole lot on just one start in his first career start here for the Brewers, but yeah, I'm excited to see him in action here too. So, but first pitch for tonight's game going up against Tampa Bay is going to be at 6:40. So coverage will begin on your radio dials, 105.1 FM and 790 AM, about 35 minutes prior. So, but a quick look at the NL Central standings. Who's in first place? It is your Milwaukee Brewers with their undefeated record. There's just a handful of teams that have began the season undefeated. That would be the Blue Jays and the Yankees, both 3-0. You've got the Miami Marlins. Break up the Marlins right now, 3-0 to begin their season. The Dodgers, probably to no surprise, also 3-0, and then plus the Brewers. If you're looking at just the Central, Cardinals and Reds, 2-1. Pirates, Cubs, 1-2. And just because it's a little bit of an overreaction Monday, fun version, the team in Major League Baseball with the best run differential is your Milwaukee Brewers, plus 19. Next closest is the Yankees at a plus 12. Hey, come on. I got to throw that in there because I don't think that's going to happen throughout this entire season. So got to throw a little bit in there. Got to throw a little bit of love into that, right? Got to. So, all right. We got a quick message from Surveyor Sam. Man, what a sports weekend. Bucky to the Frozen Four, Brewers sweep. And then to end the Elite Eight, UConn with the damn near half-court shot. That play will be on replay for years to come. Only grief I have. So this is, I'm assuming, Surveyor, this is your VFW Post best and worst from the weekend. VFW Post 305, that is. Only grief I have is that Saturday's Elite Eight games were not on CBS, so us commoners didn't get to watch it. Come on, NCAA, get that right. Yeah, yesterday's UConn-Duke game, and I know a lot of it is recency, probably for some, but when you have like Jay Billis and these guys, this is what they do for a living, is cover college basketball, and they talk about that game as a whole going down as maybe one of most memorable. I don't want to say best, but maybe one of the most memorable. You're right, Surveyor. That play is going to be on loop throughout history now. That final 10 seconds is just insane. Insane. There's going to be a lot of second guessing and a lot of what ifs from the Duke perspective, and totally get it. And they should. But man, what a moment for UConn, and to hit that shot too. Man, this is March, baby. This is why we love March Madness, right? Is games like that, is finishes like that. Now, maybe some of you that had Duke going to the Final Four or winning the championship, it might have busted your bracket or might have ruined your bracket. But hey, I was good with it. I'm not a UConn fan, but I got all my Final Four teams in it. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Final Four is intact. Let's finish this thing strong. I think there's some good matchups in this Final Four, too. I'm excited. I'm excited about the Final Four. Illinois, UConn, Michigan, Arizona, I think is going to be a fantastic matchup. That's going to be such an awesome game. At least on paper, on the surface, it looks like that is going to be a really, really, really good game. But, yeah, I think this is a solid Final Four. I think it's good. All right. We got to take our final break, and then the first hour is already in the books, peeps. Okay? Continue to hit us up with your VFW Post 305 best and worst from the weekend. I'll do my best and worst from the weekend coming up after these quick words. Looking for a great night out in Eau Claire? Well, then you need to head to the VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue. Come for the food, stay for the atmosphere, and from crowd favorite fish fries to burgers, sandwiches, daily specials, there's always something hot and delicious coming out of the kitchen. And it's not just about the menu. With live music, theme parties, community events, and something new happening all the time, VFW Post 305 is where friends meet and good times happen. Great food, friendly faces, and there's always something going on. VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire, your neighborhood spot for a night well spent. Let's do, you can continue to send your VFW Post 305's best and worst from the weekends throughout the rest of the couple hours here. But mine, there's a lot of bests, so I can't narrow it down to one. So I'm going to go in chronological order for this thing. Friday news, Blue Gold women's basketball hiring Hannah Iverson as their new coach. Big time hire. Big time hire. So congrats to the Blue Golds. Congrats to Hannah Iverson. I know Eau Claire North products, played ball at UW Green Bay and such, took UW Stout a couple of years ago to the Final Four. So I think that is a great hire. So there's one. Yesterday's Brewers ending, I mean, come on. That was insane to be just the third game of the year, and we already got something like that. That was awesome. That UConn-Duke ending, for crying out loud. All right, we just talked about those two things. Even if you're not a fan of either UConn or Duke, if you're just a sports fan, you're just a basketball fan, we all can appreciate a fantastic finish or a fantastic game. And that's what that was. My worst from the weekend. Oh, and I mean, pump it back a little bit. Best two, you go men's hockey. For the Badgers getting to the Frozen Four, their comeback against Michigan State and getting the dub in overtime too. So yeah, definitely got to throw that one in there too. But my worst from the weekend. Now, I'll preface this by saying we don't know the whole story. We don't know everything that's going on. But T-Dub, Tiger Woods, man. Friday, we all know about it by now. Another vehicle accident, flipped his car, arrested on suspicion of DUI. Again, we don't know the full-on story, so I don't want to sit here, point fingers, and assume and just, say this is. But man, if you need help, bud, go get some help, dude. And I got to imagine for all the injuries that he has gone through, all the surgeries that he has gone through, the amount of pain and work that he has put his body through. Again, I don't want to completely assume, but I would imagine that if there is something with there, dude, you got to take care of yourself first and foremost. I know, hey, I'm a big Tiger Woods fan as a golfer. Okay, what he does on the golf course. I'm a fan of Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, I've said this numerous times, Tiger Woods is probably one of the most influential athletes from my era because he made golf cool. Okay? He made golf cool for younger kids around my age. It's like, oh, that guy, okay, golf is actually kind of cool. Yeah. So on the golf course, he is one of the most influential, and he's one of my favorite athletes on the course. But off the course and stuff, we know the guy needs some help. And for all of the stuff that he has put his body through, that he has put his mind through, dude, you got to take care of yourself first and foremost. I would love to see you back at Augusta National next week and playing in the Masters, okay? I know we all got, as golfers, golf fans, got a little excited to see you back on the TGL making your debut. Thought, okay, is this going to be a stepping stone, or are we going to see him at Augusta? Yes, I want to see Tiger Woods continue to golf. I want to see Tiger Woods on my television set. I would love to still see Tiger Woods golf in person because I've never been able to experience it. And I know it's not the same Tiger as, late 90s, early 2000s. But, man, you got to take care of yourself first and foremost, okay? You got to do it. That's the most important thing. It's not chasing down Jack's record anymore. It's not accumulating more wins. I'm sorry, but it's not even about golf anymore. It's about taking care of yourself first and foremost. Please do that. Got to do that, man. All right? But to see that news come out Friday afternoon, luckily nobody was hurt in that accident. It could have been a lot worse. But still, that's my worst from the weekend. So continue to send us your best and worst from the weekends. All right. Your VFW Post 305 best and worst from the weekends. Text it on over 715-830-1912 or hit us up on the Section 105 chat room on YouTube. Sam says, here's a question. What point does UConn become a villain? I mean, there is a definition of basketball school in the dictionary. It has a picture of Gino on it. But it seems that no one ever dislikes UConn. No one says, I can't stand them like Duke, Florida, or Michigan State. Why is that? I don't know. I mean, you look at Duke, you look at UConn the last few seasons, they've been just nothing but the success. And you would think with a coach that gets as animated as Coach Hurley does, that maybe he would be the villain. Because I feel like there's probably some people, I mean, it's kind of, we talk about it in football a lot. If he's not a coach that, it was like that with Harbaugh with the 49ers. A lot of people didn't like Harbaugh because maybe he's a little animated on the sidelines and such. People don't like right now Ben Johnson because of stuff he says. And maybe it's just because it's not out there more, but I would imagine maybe like Big East teams, maybe this is a better question for a diehard Marquette basketball fan because they're in the same conference and such. But I don't know. If anybody's got a thought on Surveyor's question, throw it out there. You know, as a good friend of mine always said, nobody likes a dynasty. Would you put UConn in that dynasty? Men's basketball right now, would you do that? Or is it because UConn is, I don't know, when you talk about blue bloods in college basketball, UConn's in there, right? I mean, they were winning championships before Hurley got there. I mean, Jim Calhoun, and then, you know, you had Kevin Ollie winning the one-off in 2014. I don't know. Maybe it is, and just not hearing it from the masses there. Surveyor. Not sure. But I do feel like there are people that maybe get a little tiresome of Hurley's antics and such. But can you imagine if it was like he was on Duke or one of those other teams or Michigan? Maybe we would hear it a little bit more. All right. Coming up next hour, I want to talk a little football. We've got owners' meetings going on in the NFL, and later on this morning at the coach's breakfast, Matt LaFleur is going to be chatting with the media for the first time since his extension. Jonathan Gannon as his new defensive coordinator, new special teams coordinator. So if you could ask Matt LaFleur one question, and a legit question, at breakfast this morning, you're representing the media, what would it be? He already did talk to the NFL Network's Mike Garafolo just a couple days ago. We'll go through some of his comments and what he had to say about Jordan Love, Tucker Kraft timeline, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we do have a couple of Packers rumors out there to maybe hash out here as well. So we'll get to that coming up in the next hour. Definitely more baseball talk coming your way as well with the Brewers completing the sweep. If there was something in the first three games, all right, this first series, that maybe stood out to you more than anything else, player-wise, who was it? Who gets maybe your player of the series award? Yelly, that'd be a good one. Ortiz, Turang, kind of picking up where he left off from the WBC. Got a few Aaron Ashby. Got a few options. Mizorowski in the 1-star. So we'll get to that. We'll talk more baseball throughout the morning here as well. And continue to send me your VFW Post 305's best and worst from the weekends. We've got Badger basketball, women's basketball. They're still alive in the Women's Basketball Invitational. If they win today against Columbia, they will advance to the championship. And as we noted a little bit earlier, too, the men's hockey team will be taking on North Dakota on Thursday in the Frozen Four. Bucks, they're officially eliminated from the postseason. So we can start to talk a little bit about a very